Hello, I'd like to talk to you today about skincare. And if you're into health, you're into natural health, you definitely should be into skincare. It's very, very important for a number of reasons. So skincare is not just for women that want to have nice skin. If it's for men and women and for anybody who even cares about their body, cares about their health. Skincare is very important. I work on it all the time. In fact, I work on it daily. So first of all, skin is our largest organ. It protects the internal organs from injury and infection. It protects us from dehydration. It helps detoxify us through sweating. It protects the body from sunburns. It's an important line of defense against infections. It's a barrier between against viruses and bacteria. It protects us from extreme temperature changes. It produces and stores vitamin D, which is actually a hormone, and that's very important for our immune system. Of course, we have sensory perception through our skin, and most interestingly, I find that the skin is constantly feeding the brain with information throughout the body, so the brain can make decisions about self-preservation, and that's one of the main functions of the skin. Now, how do we keep our skin healthy? Now, this is a natural health protocol, so I'm going to get into this, and I don't think anybody else has this protocol out there. So I think the number one thing you can do for your water, for your skin, is to drink water. And of course, the best water is ionized water. But as long as you don't stay away from reverse osmosis or distilled water, and spring water is good, really well filtered tap water, or the best water on earth is definitely alkaline ionized water. I drink a gallon and a half every single day, sometimes 2 gallons. It is the number one reason why I stay healthy, and it is the number one reason why my skin is nice, and my skin is really nice. But you've got to drink a lot of water. I don't even use too much cream, hardly at all, in even the driest months of the year here in Michigan. So number two would be the far-infrared sauna. Now, you don't hear people talk about this thing at all, and believe me, if you're into health and you ever use one of these things, you say, wow, this is like the greatest thing in the world. Far-infrared sauna is not like a conventional sauna at all. It operates at much lower temperatures, but you're using the same rays that we get from the sun. Most of the sunlight that falls on the earth comes in the form of far-infrared waves. It's 6 to 1,000 microns. So you kind of heat the body from the inside out. So you're sitting in the far-infrared sauna for just a couple of minutes, say 10, maybe 15 minutes, and you begin to sweat profusely. It's really, really kind of amazing. And, it's very cleansing for the skin. Of course, you're sweating out herbicides, pesticides, heavy metals, all these really serious toxins that normally are never found in regular sweat. You can go out on the hottest day of the year, go jogging, whatever you want. You'll never sweat out heavy metals, herbicides, pesticides, radiation. All these things are coming out when you're in a far-infrared sauna. It's also great for the immune system and cardiovascular system. So, but great for the skin. One of the number one things I use to cleanse my skin. If you looked at my skin closely, you see I don't have any marks on there. You don't have any spots or anything like that, or liver spots, because my skin is constantly detoxified, and the far-infrared sauna is the number one reason why. Now, the next thing I do is I use acid ionized water on the outside of my body. Now, alkaline ionized water is very high pH, 9.5 to 10, and you consume it. But acid ionized water, you're down there, depending on the water source, anywhere from 5 to 6 pH. And the millivoltage, or the ORP, is in the positive range. Where you're putting that right on your skin, skin loves that low pH. You're down there around 5 to 6. It's going to really like that a lot. That low pH kind of helps us ward off bacteria. So very good for the skin, helps pull out wrinkles, of course, any kind of skin problem, dermatitis, or any kind of cut, scrape, rash, mosquito bite, bee sting, anything like that. Anything on the skin, acid water is great for, but just for skin conditioning. I use it on my face. If you do use it, just put it on and leave it on. Let it dry. Let it soak there. If you get those cuts in the winter on your fingers, you can soak them in acid water, and it's really great for that. That's acid ionized water. Very, 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 very good for the skin. One of the best things I use, and I use it every single day. One little trick you can do when you get into the shower if you want nice skin. It's kind of an extreme thing. I don't do it all the time, but I do it regularly. And that is you turn the shower temperature up very, very high, so it's extremely hot, and you stand under there. You don't need it to the point where you're hurting yourself or anything, but you're very hot. And then you turn the water very, very cold. And what that does is it opens up your pores, and then when you put on the cold water, it closes it very quickly, and it brings all the blood to the surface, and all that fills all the capillaries. So they're opened up, and the pores are opened up, and then you close them, and then the blood rushes to the top, and then you go back and forth, and you go very, very hot, very, very cold, and it's really good for the skin. Another thing I do, I use this every day. This is a skin brush. You know, I don't know what brand this is, but I use it every single day. If you get into the sunlight and you do this, you'll see all these flakes coming off. This is taking away dead skin off the surface of your skin. And you know, I use it all over my body. I use it in my hair. I use it on my face. It's a little scratchy at first. You kind of feel like a horse. You're brushing yourself off. It's really fantastic. Very stimulating for the skin. And you know, really helps bring the blood to the surface, because you're trying to feed that the skin constantly. Very, very, very important. Another thing that I use is one of these. These are kind of funny. A lot of people think that it comes out of the ocean or something. That's actually a vegetable. It's called a loofah, Loofah, I think. I don't know if they're edible. I don't think they are, but I use one of those, and that, again, that's really good for exfoliating, for taking away dead skin cells. It just, again, you know, bringing the blood to the surface. That's one of the main things you're trying to do there. Now, another thing I use, of course, primarily on my face is, you know, I use a volcanic ash. You know, you can use a, I don't know what brand this is, but I don't promote any one particular brand of any of those. But you can use a clay, but I really think the volcanic ash is good, but you get it in around all of my face. You can use it anywhere in your body, of course, but it's a very good exfoliation, meaning you're getting in there and cleansing out the skin, and you're really getting, it helps get rid of wrinkles in particular. You know, wrinkles are not a natural thing. If you've got wrinkles under the eyes in particular, you know, number one thing I would do is stop eating sugar. You know, that's the number one thing I would do if you were taking that. If you got the wrinkles coming up in the skin, very, very bad. Another thing I use is Chlorella powder. I don't use it all the time. I probably use it once or twice a month. I just mix it with a little water. I'll put some CGF Chlorella growth factor powder in there. That's because it's got RNA and DNA. Those are nucleic acids, very good for repairing any kind of skin damage, and it feeds the skin, and that's one of the things you want to do. You want to feed the skin from the outside. Another thing I use is witch hazel. No particular brand. I happen to use this one. Doesn't really matter. This one happens to have a little bit of aloe vera in it. Aloe vera is a plant. You can drink aloe vera. It's very good for your skin. Really good. And you can also use, you know, aloe vera on the outside of the skin. Very good. But witch hazel is a plant extract. Really good tonifier. Excellent for the skin. I use it all the time. It's kind of what I would use in place of any kind of moisturizer. If I'm going to use a moisturizer, use Shea Butter. It comes from a tree in Africa. You know, I don't use very much of it at all. I use it sparingly. I don't want anything that's going to close up the pores. You want the pores open. You want the skin to breathe. That's why I don't use too many creams, and certainly not any kind of oil. Don't ever put oil on your skin. I think it's a big mistake, in my opinion. Another thing you can do, I don't do this all the time, but potato juice, raw potato juice. You just juice a potato, and I would recommend that you put a lemon in there, because it'll convert the starchy carbohydrates. Really good for your skin. Amazingly good for your skin. Another thing, now internally, I'm going to use some Angstrom silicone. Silicone is good for the skin. In fact, most of our skin is made out of silicone. And Angstrom refers to the size of the molecules. You take a little bit, hold it under your tongue, and it just is, you know, absorbs directly into the body through the sublingual gland under the tongue. All of the minerals that I take do that. I have all sorts of minerals that I take every single day. I take one that's a full spectrum, and then I might use different minerals for various things, but silicone for the skin, very good. We've also got another product that I like to use. It comes in a smaller one or the little sprayer, and it's got larger molecules than Angstrom, much larger. And so, because Angstrom will go right through the skin into the body, right into the bloodstream. You don't want that. It won't feed the skin. If you want to feed the skin, there's particular minerals in this formula, face food, and we just spray it on, and it just sits there and it absorbs into the skin, but it really feeds it with the nutrients that the skin is going to need, such as silicon, very important. Now, as far as foods, olive oil is very good to consume, of course, coconut oil, avocado, raw nuts, walnuts, or, anything that's, pine nuts, anything that's got a lot of oil in them. It's really good for the skin, but again, raw, and nothing that's been cooked or been roasted or anything like that. It has to be a raw nut. It really doesn't do it. Another thing that's really good is MSM, which is organic sulfur. Really, really good for the skin. People with a lot of skin problems, itchiness, scalp itching, all that kind of stuff, they take some MSM, and it's like, wow. I mean, this is like the cure I've been looking for my whole life. It's just amazing thing. So that's pretty much my skin protocol. Again, I do this stuff every single day as part of, people say, when do you detoxify? Well, it's called my life. I don't go through detoxes. I detoxify every single day of my life. Health is a daily thing. Health is never it's a habit. It's never an event. It doesn't happen one day. You just can't be healthy one day. It's every day. It's your lifestyle. And this is what I do for my skin. One last word, what to avoid. Anything with a bunch of chemicals in it is an easy one. The worst things you're going to find in the market, ironically, I find, are commercial beauty products, especially like the Lancomes and Cliniques. I mean, they're just chemicals, and they spend a fortune, billions of dollars developing and marketing these products, and women, primarily women, use them and love them, and I think they're really bad for your skin. I don't think they belong on the skin, and a lot of them have parabens in there, really, really bad. Anything with like an oil in it, like I said, really bad. I don't want anything covering up the pores. You want the skin to breathe. You want it to be healthy. And so I would just avoid those. I'm on our website. I have a whole list of bad things that you're going to find in ingredients that you'll find in these products. You can go out and look for them. But just, basically, I stick with what's natural, and this is what's natural. See you next time. Bob McCauley.